untouchable, uncrushable.
This for people who still mad I'm great. Fuck the feelings,
The revolution is the genocide. My execution might be televised. My execution might be televised.
What up, people?
Yo.
It is your two hosts with the most, Triborough and Movie AV Impulse, and we are here with a special guest. And today we are going to talk about the top 5 games that we just could not beat when we were kids and early teens. And I'll tell you the truth, man, I'm embarrassed about a couple of these, but hey, we just gonna get right into it. And I'm going to bring in our special guest. Try, you want to say anything before I bring in the special guest?
I want to say happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving with family and friends. And yeah, we're gonna have this episode lit tonight. It's Capo and Young Storm, and we got John Doe Juggalo joining us, and it's gonna be lit.
Yes, sir. And I love the shirt. I love the
Thank you.
Snoopy Thanksgiving
Snoopy
shirt.
Thanksgiving, yes.
I like that.
I only wear for Thanksgiving weekend, so.
All right, let's bring in Jeff, aka John Joe Juggalo. What is up?
What's up, everybody?
It's
How's
good.
it going, guys?
Salute.
So, John, I must ask, because now I'm just going to call you John. You're not going to be Jeff. You're just going to be John Doe for the whole remainder of the episode. How did you come up with the name? Because for a while I was a little stunned, and I was just like, where did he come up with this? So give a little backstory to that name.
Well, I mean, obviously, Juggalo is like Insane Clown Posse. Like, obviously, that's like their fan base. And I was about 4 or 5 years being heavy into them. Probably about 13, 14 years old, making my AOL AIM name, and I wanted something that I thought flowed good, and I've just kind of stuck with it since. So about 2003, 2004, I just thought it flowed well. A lot of people get tongue twisted with it, but once you read it and you kind of see what it is, I feel like it flows real well.
It does. It rolls off the tongue really nicely.
Yeah.
So over on your channel, I want you to promote it a little bit because you do a little bit of everything. Another thing that I like about your channel, you talk about games and movies, and you go through your hauls and stuff. I know hauls are probably going to be a little bit different, considering that we have a couple of boutique labels starting to shut down, but we still got Groove, right?
Yeah.
But give us a little rundown over on what you do to your channel.
I mean, I do a lot of haul videos. I do some discussion stuff. But honestly, I got so many different hobbies. I talk about whatever I want to talk about when I get in front of the camera. So one week you might get a video game video. The next week you might get something about something in my music collection. The next week I'll have a stack of 4K movies that I'm talking about. So honestly, my channel is, if you're coming to my channel, we're just talking about art. That's the way that I like to present it, because every piece of like music or video game or movie story, it's a piece of art. And what I like to do is I like to collect the actual tangible art part of it. So that's what I like to do over on my channel, is just hang out, talk about that.
Gotcha. I like that. His YouTube channel is in the descriptions. I highly suggest y'all go follow, give him a sub, give him a like, and as well as Triborough is always down there, because That Ain't Rap Podcast, where he does his own thing over on his channel as well, along with my channel. So we're going to get into the top 5. We are only limiting this to Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis for now. I didn't want to include all the consoles because then we'd have a top 50 list, I'm pretty sure. But a couple of these is going to be a little crazy. But Jeff, since you are the guest, I want you to hit me off with your top 5 first, and then we'll go Triborough, me, and we'll go from there.
All right. Do we just want to do one?
We'll do one at a time. So
Okay.
Give me your 5.
All right. So I'm going to start off with one that I still can't beat. Like even being a seasoned gamer, this game gets like really hard by like level 4, and that's going to be the 16-bit Ghostbusters game.
Wow.
Ooh.
This game is hilarious. Like it's fun, but it's super freaking hard. Your characters are like these chibi looking guys. It's the 3 guys from Ghostbusters, but they look kind of chibi.
Right.
The Sega Genesis graphics, but it's platforming. It's basically a Ghostbusters platformer, and it's one of those things where if you miss the platform by like a hair, you're done. You get like one hit kills from ghosts. So, and it's super unforgiving. Like I said, I still don't even think I can beat it to this day. and it kind of makes me mad, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Man, I don't think I've played that one in quite some time. It's been a while since I played Ghostbusters. But Triborough, what's your number 5?
All right, my number 5 is Bayou Billy for the OG NES. And honestly, I didn't like the graphics. I didn't like the gameplay. I think I want to say like there was a cartoon that used to come on back in the day called Captain N and the Game Master, and I want to say I saw Bayou Billy on there. I actually saw his character in a cartoon, and then I went out and bought the game, and it just wasn't good. And I was really young at that time, so a lot of these games are like from the OG NES period, and I didn't finish every last game that I had for the system, but that was like one of those games where I was like, I think I wasted my money, even purchasing the game from Toys R Us. But I couldn't even tell you like how many levels it was and what was the whole point of the game. I just remember playing it and not liking it, and I just put it down after a while.
Yeah, you know what's funny is people complain about the price of games right now, and I
Mhm.
get it. Like back in the days when we bought games, you just
Right.
bought the game.
We just bought the game.
There was no
Yeah.
microtransactions and all this bullshit.
Right.
So that's where people get the expense of the game mixed up, because if you really look back at them old Toys R Us flyers, the KB Toys flyers,
Hmm.
video games were going for $50-$60.
Right. It was.
And in my opinion, and I don't know if you guys would agree with me,
Mhm.
I liked the boxes and the way the cartridges used to look. They used to
Yeah.
put thought,
Definitely.
because it was kind of like a movie at Blockbuster. You had to look at that picture at the front
Right.
to grab your attention. So there was always some kind of thought process behind all that packaging. And, especially like Zelda with that gold cartridge, that was
Yeah.
like everybody wanted that gold
Oh yeah.
cartridge. Even
Mhm.
though I did not like the game like that. I wasn't a Zelda fan at all.
Right.
But man, like that's the only difference between now and back, back then, is now everything is microtransactions. Games come out $70-$80. You don't get the whole game. You got to wait for season 8, season 20, season 55. It's just ridiculous on how much money. I can't tell you how much money me and my wife have spent on Fortnite for my son. It is astronomical. That's
I
why I
mean,
miss old school consoles like this.
Right.
But I just wanted to touch on that because you had said, when you bought it, I was like, man,
Yeah.
pricing was crazy back then.
Crazy. But I will say this though, I do like the fact that now in this era, we can go to YouTube and we can see the gameplay for a certain game that we want to play before we actually buy it. Because we couldn't do that back in the day. We
No,
just had like
no.
the guides and even the
yeah,
game guides
magazines with
wasn't enough.
pictures.
Yeah,
Magazines with pictures, and we had to take somebody's word.
facts.
Yeah. Yeah. My number 5, y'all might have never played. Sorry, I'm not as cool as John Joe. I don't have the games. But Flashback for Sega Genesis.
Oh,
It was so hard, but the way it looked for that time was just like crazy. It really looked like something off of a PC rather than a Sega Genesis game. So I was always intrigued by how it looked, but I could never get past like the 3rd level. And I think there was only like 6 or 7 levels of that video game, but the problem with it is if you ran too fast into the next like level, the guy would keep going and you would fall off of like a ledge or something like that. But you control the guy, he wakes up with amnesia, and then you have to like solve like this alien conspiracy. It was such a cool game, but I just could never even get past level 3.
Right.
Jeff, I think you're shaking your head because you remember the game.
Well, I would have actually probably pulled Flashback, but I got it for the Jaguar, and I know you were like, we're going to keep it to these 3
yeah.
consoles, so I didn't pull Flashback because that's one of the ones that I could never beat. But it's one that my mom and my uncle played together on the Genesis back in the day. They used to sit in the living room and they'd write little strategy guides and try to get through it, and that was a hard game. Like,
It was,
I
man.
still don't know if I've ever beat it. I got it for the Switch because you can get it on today's consoles now.
Yep. It's what is it, remastered? But the levels for that time and being so young, you know, I think I was like maybe 8 or 9 when that came out. And man, it was just like the graphics are like that. Like it was like your eyes just got so wide when you seen something like that. But every time you would run into a level, you would just fall somewhere, or you would have to stop real quick or tuck and roll. And I just couldn't. It was crazy. Hey, Jerry, no, I beat Mario 1. Get out of here, son. I pulled that flag down many times.
Oh yeah.
All right, what is your number 4?
My number 4 was one that my parents thought I would love because, well, everybody in the 90s was digging it. Still one of the hardest games. I got it on the PS4. Still can't beat it. And that's going to be Super Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
This game will just like, it'll make you second guess whether or not you even want to play games anymore. It's super unforgiving. Platforms just seem like they disappear as you're trying to get onto them. And the enemies are just like, they're like bullet sponges. But this one, like I said, it's still really hard. You can buy it on PlayStation nowadays. They just call it Super Star Wars, I think. But this one is hard. And I'm still not sure I can beat it.
Yeah, I don't even remember that one as far as like the gameplay goes, but I remember like my dad having it, and
I couldn't get out of the desert with Luke. Like, you're going through the desert and he's still like in his white like clothing and stuff that you see him in at the beginning of A New Hope, and you're running around with his blaster going through the sand. I couldn't get past that, and I think that might be the first level.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got past the first level either. Triborough, what is your number 4?
Number 4. Now this is another game where I couldn't get past the first level. It was the game to the movie Dick Tracy, and when the movie came out, I loved that movie. Warren Beatty and Madonna and Al Pacino, and I love the movie, but I got the game thinking it was gonna be as great as the movie, and I couldn't get past the first level. There was like the level was like, I think it was like down at the docks. And for some reason, like I couldn't get past it. Like, again, we only had game guides back then, and I didn't have the game guide for this game, so I never was able to get past it. And I wanted to finish that game because I grew up on the Dick Tracy comics, and then the movie comes out and the soundtrack, but I just couldn't get past the first level. So, you know, that was like one of those games where I had to put to the side and just focus on another game.
Yeah, I love Dick. We need a 4K on Dick Tracy, man.
For sure.
The colors in that movie was just pop.
Yeah,
if they did it right. And I would like to see a remaster of that. I remember that game. I actually liked that, but I think I couldn't get past level 2 on that game. So I never beat that one either. But we definitely need a 4K release on that. That would be fantastic. All right. Speaking of falling platforms, jumping, and not trying to get spiked to death, my number 4 is Prince of Persia. I could never not even get past the first level. I mean, it's crazy when you're running into somewhere and platforms just shake and fall. And when you're a kid, when you seeing them shake, I used to stand there like, what's going on? Why is the floor shaking? And not realizing that it goes down to a bed of spikes.
Right.
So I was never able to beat that one. And I played the one for Super Nintendo, not the
PlayStation 2
Nintendo one. No, they had a regular Nintendo one, and then they had a Super Nintendo, and I jumped in on Super Nintendo. I wasn't big on the graphics for the regular Nintendo because I was still playing RC you know, all that, The Simpsons,
Mhm.
Paperboy. I was
Yeah.
still like on those type of games.
Yeah.
But Prince of Persia, I never even got past that first level for that game, which I'm sure many people, I'm sure nowadays, if I, played it now,
Mhm.
knowing what I know and being a seasoned gamer, I would probably whoop that game's ass, but
Right.
not that other one. I'll tell you that. Oh man. Yeah. No, nah, I can't. PS3 was my favorite console of all time. But I think Sega Genesis was at that time revolutionary for me. I just think the gameplay, the 3D effects, everything just looked crazy to me, especially Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog, when I
Oh
first
yeah.
seen how fast that screen moved.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But PS3 is still the number one console I think that ever came where it really changed the entire game
Right.
play. What is your number 3, John?
So my number 3 actually spawned a whole separate franchise that's bigger than what it is, and I did finally beat it in my teenage years, but that's going to be Metal Gear for the
Ooh.
NES.
Plastic.
It didn't matter how far we would get in the game. Every time we would get far enough in the game to get a code, we never seemed to have a pencil to write the code down, and it was like a 24-digit code because there was no save system.
Right.
There was no battery on the cartridge. You just had to have your passcode to be able to kind of continue. So it always seemed like we get a little bit further and we wouldn't have a pencil or a crown or anything to write down the code
Right.
to continue. But they did package this later on the PlayStation 2, and me and one of my buddies that have played through the whole series started with that and beat it, and then just kind of kept on going.
I loved the sound effects in that game for the PS2. The huh? Like you get the little exclamation
Yeah.
mark, and you knew you had to hide somewhere. That was and I like the top down views on all those
Yeah.
older school games. I love that view for some reason. Going through the levels was just so dope. Triborough, what is your number
I
3?
would before I get to my number 3. I remember when we would be in school and like there would be kids that finished the game and they would tell us like the little codes and the tips, and we had Game Genie back then too. People forgot about that.
Well, I didn't forget about it. I was
Mm.
trying to think of games I didn't use that for.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to be like straight up honest with this one, but
Right.
Game Genie was a game changer too.
Yeah.
I remember I thought I broke the Nintendo because remember the Game Genie when you put it on the cartridge, you couldn't.
Yeah.
You would just put it in. You couldn't
Right.
put it down. And as a kid, I was like trying to I was like, why is it not going down? And I hit the power button and realized you didn't need to put the
Right.
Game Genie down. It just stuck out. But yeah, man, the Game Genie that was like it was easy. You just put on Excite Bike and then you just put in the air.
Right.
So you just go through the whole track in the air.
They used to have a hotline too where we call a hotline and they would give the codes, and I call a hotline for the codes for Mike Tyson Punch Out.
Yeah. Well, I got my ass beat. I called that hotline not knowing that it cost money.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone for about like 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And when my stepdad got that phone bill,
Right.
I got my shit beat for doing and using that. I called that hotline once.
Mhm.
And that was
That
it.
was it.
Because I didn't, as a kid, you're just like, oh, I got to beat this level. Let me call up what was it? Power
I forgot the name of it
Play,
though.
I think.
Yeah,
was it
something like
Power
that.
Play? I know Jerry would know. I think Jerry still has like some of those.
The codes.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he still has some of the magazines. What's
Oh yeah,
going on,
Nintendo Power.
So for me, I got my ass beat because I ran up a phone bill that I didn't even know I was running up. For me, now I started playing this game very young.
I didn't do my number 3 yet though.
You gotta go for your number 3.
Yes, my number 3 is gonna be A Boy and His Blob. I don't know if anybody remember that game because I don't even know the game. It was a game that I got for Christmas that year, and like the best thing about that game was the game cover. Like there's a boy literally on the game cover with some blob looking creature. But when you play the game, it's like everywhere you go, the blob follows you. But I didn't understand the game of that, back then, and the graphics looked terrible. It looked like a little 3-year-old did the graphics. I didn't like nothing about it. But like I said, like the game cover was the best thing about it. I still remember the game cover, but I didn't know nothing about the game. And it, it was when your parents, when your parents is buying you gifts and they go into Toys R Us and they might buy a game that they think that you might like, and I was like, yo, I don't like this, and I had to sell it off. But yeah, that was like one of those games where I didn't even care to finish it.
Yeah, well, like I said, it was probably the box that got their attention. It was
Yeah,
probably a dope looking box, and
yeah,
that's what we all went off of when we were
hmm
growing up. Like you said, there wasn't no YouTube around or
no,
anything like that. So we just went with, oh, that box looks cool. I'm gonna grab that.
right,
And that's how I got introduced to a lot of B horror movies because
hmm
just the box was cool as hell. And then you
right,
get it home and you're like, wow, this is really bad.
trash. Yeah,
My number 3, I was like 6, 7 when I started playing this game, but that's gonna be Mega Man. The original for
mm.
NES.
Oh,
The whole like having to choose the right weapon to beat the right villain, and I just could not get past Mega Man to save my life.
right,
And I remember watching my dad play it, and he's running through shit like it's nothing. And then I would be like, yeah, I got that. I could do that. And then the next day when he was at work, I'd be playing and I
yeah,
could never beat that. And I never went back to it. I never revisited that game because it was so frustrating that I had to let it go. But Mega Man is a dope franchise. I did get into it a little bit more when they came out with the Super Nintendo version. I thought that was cool. I did beat that one, but the original Mega Man never went back, never tried to beat it, and it was just a killer for me. So,
right.
yeah, that's mine. I got into that real young. John, you are up next. Number 2.
All right, so I'm gonna go with one I played with my brother because playing it by yourself, I don't know any kids that could beat it, but I definitely couldn't. And even with him, it took us many years before we could beat it. But that's Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh, that was
Wow.
such a
We
good
ended up
game.
getting like a Nintendo Power or like a EGM or a Game Informer or something, and just got the code to go to level 50, 50, 51 or 52 or whatever it was, and just go to the final boss. Because there's 55 undeadly levels. So yeah, we would just use the cheat code to go to like level 55. Because I think we'd get to about level 26, 27, and it just got too hard.
It's crazy how hard these games get, especially like, now, like I said, nowadays it's just Call of Duty, buy a pack, blah 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 blah. But you really had to put in some thought
Yeah,
Well,
back then.
I think that they were as hard as they were back then because they were still trying to figure out how to transition from the quarter feeding arcades to selling you the whole game and being done with you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, how do we transition it? Well, we don't. Well, that's the exact same game we would have made for the arcade, and they would have just fed quarters to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like that was like the difficulty ramp. I think was the mindset because console gaming still was kind of new
yeah,
for a lot of these
Oh
games. Like
yeah.
these were like the budding starts of a console under your TV type of deal.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, the console I had a TV on top of a TV. We had the big box, like
right.
nobody could move that shit. Thing was like
Hmm.
300 pounds, but then we had the bigger TV on top
Yeah,
of that when that one blew.
yeah,
But that was great. And, that's a good I never really thought of it like that, John. But yeah, you're right. Like they have to think about, okay, we just made X amount of money off all these quarters in the arcades.
mhm,
So now we got to try to transition that. And I never looked at it like that. That's a
Yeah,
really
it
good.
took them a long time to figure out leveling difficulty. I think
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
arcade it was just one and done. You just fed that thing quarters till you got good or you went home.
right.
May I add real quick, John? I love the Hatchet Man in the background.
Yeah, my wife got that for me. It's one
Yeah,
of my
yo,
it's one of my
that
favorite
is
pieces.
kick ass. I always meant to tell you that because I've seen it in your some previous videos and stuff. But I love the Hatchet Man in the background.
Yeah, it's actually kind of detailed on the inside of it. It has all the old school Joker cards on the
Oh,
inside of the
that's
Hatchet
cool.
Man. It's like a cardboard cutout, and then they put like a LED strip around the outside of it.
Yeah, you can't tell from here, but
No, it's way too bright. But yeah,
yeah,
it has like all the old school cards on it too. So
that's dope. Trotboro number 2.
Number 2 for me is Dr. Mario. Can never finish this game. I love Mario. I was a huge Mario fan, still a huge Mario Brothers fan. But when I got that game for Christmas, and I played around with the game, and it reminded me a little bit of Tetris, but I couldn't understand, like, with Mario playing the doctor, and then he had like the little virus creatures, and I didn't really understand what it is I was doing. And I think
Mhm.
I just was happy to get it because it was Mario, and I was like, anything Mario, I was all in for it. But I couldn't finish that game.
Yeah, I didn't even get into that game. I
Yeah,
couldn't. I I liked Mario up into 3, and then I left Mario alone because I got into Yoshi's.
right. Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi, I got into Donkey Kong Country. That
Yeah,
was shit.
yeah.
So I left Mario alone for quite some time until 64. Once
Mm,
Nintendo 64 came out and
right.
the 3D look of Mario, I got
Yeah.
back into it, and then Mario Kart, that was cool, but, you know, Dr. Mario, I didn't even bother with that one. I couldn't.
we
Alright,
got
this is
Tetris
the
at
game
home.
I am embarrassed to say I lied when I was a kid saying I beat this game, and I never did. Jerry, I swear to God, you make fun of me for this shit, or Todd, somebody's gonna get smacked. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I
Which one though?
never the first one
The
For
one on
for
the
the
NES.
NES?
for the NES.
Oh
Dude, that
wow.
game is
Yo,
hard.
the Water World, when I
Hmm.
was a kid, because I got my mom bought me that game when it
Hmm.
first came out. So like I'm maybe what 8, and I'm like I couldn't do it. I
Right.
could not get past the water level and then get into the box quick enough
Mhm.
Hmm.
and then swim back out.
Yeah.
But like everybody in school, like a week later, all the kids like, "Oh, I beat Shredder," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And it's like,
Well, you know what? You know what? They was lying too, because didn't nobody beat Shredder? That game was hard, man. I never beat it either. Like,
I never got past the water world.
Yeah.
And I loved, like going in the sewer and all that stuff. And Donatello was always my favorite.
Hmm.
So I always used him or Michelangelo because he had the nunchucks. But mostly I tried with Donatello and I could never get past that water level. I don't even
Right.
know what the end of that game looks like
Mhm.
unless I was to go and watch a YouTube, video about a walkthrough.
Right.
But and I have it now. I have an emulator that
Right.
has the game on it, and I don't even want to try it because I'm afraid I might break. And I broke my Nintendo remote over that. I took it and I swung it and I banged it on the floor
Wow.
and literally broke it because I was so pissed off at that age.
Right.
So I just never went back to it to try to beat it. But I'm pretty sure I could because I beat Turtles in time. So I'm pretty
Oh
sure
yeah. I love that one.
oh my god,
That
that's
was
still the
great.
best in the franchise.
Facts.
I mean, I think,
yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion. But oh yeah, there's mad people that speed run through all these games, man. I'm surprised, Jeff, you don't do that kind of video where you speed run through games or something.
I mean, I enjoy playing games, but I'm not necessarily good at games.
Well, I think that's kind of how it always is for everybody. We're all good. I used to be great at Tekken,
Mhm.
and then my buddy Todd used to whoop my ass all the time. But I have fun playing it and moving up in the ranks and having an arcade stick. I
Right.
love that shit. And then Tekken 8 came out and it kind of ruined it for me because they made it too easy.
Right.
Like I think Tekken 7 was the pinnacle of where Tekken is gonna ever get. and I miss playing it, but nobody plays Tekken 7 anymore. Nobody goes online anymore
Right.
to play that because it's all about Tekken 8, and it's so easy to do a move, whereas in Tekken 7, you really had to know what you were doing. You press the wrong button, you're dropping that combo, and you might end up dead. So it just sucks, that I don't get to play it anymore, but there's always Need for Speeds. So
Yeah.
it's all good. All right. So now we are on the number one, fellas, and then I'm gonna stun y'all with a holy grail
Okay.
from Nintendo. So after we're done with all this, I want your holy grail, your favorite game to play on Nintendo. So y'all got time to think about it.
Okay.
John, what is your number one?
Well, this was one that I lied about beating as well. And I think a lot
Okay,
of
so I
my
don't feel
friends
so bad.
did. I think a lot of my friends did. I did have one friend, though, that could beat it. And I know this because I watched him beat it. So I watched him beat it. And then I told everybody what the ending was, like I had beat it.
Yep.
I still have not. I've still not beat it. It's one of the hardest Nintendo games ever. It almost killed a franchise that is super popular now. And that is The Adventure of Link.
Ooh.
Classic.
This is the side-scrolling Zelda game. Before Zelda actually had what it was, they hadn't really determined what the franchise was going to be yet. I'm glad they didn't keep going this way because it's not really a good game in my opinion. I mean, people that love it really love it, but you can tell that Nintendo was not sure what they were doing with this character. They kind of went with like a Dragon Quest escape with like a Mario mix, and I don't think it worked out. The story was pretty good though, and getting to watch my buddy beat it was about as close as I'll probably ever get to beating it myself.
So is that it? So Link is before Zelda?
No, this is
Okay.
technically, well, nowadays they call it Zelda 2, but on the original cartridge it was just called The Adventure of Link.
Oh, gotcha. I don't know
But
nothing about Zelda.
It takes place immediately after the end of Legend of Zelda. Like immediately. Like it opens right up at the very end of the first one.
Gotcha. Okay, so I never.
So what was A Link to the Past? That wasn't part 2?
A Link to the Past was part 3.
Part 3,
and
okay.
See, and I didn't actually own this game. I mean, I own it now, but I did the first time I actually owned it and got to try to play it, besides playing it at my friend's house, was on the GameCube because they brought it out on this compilation Zelda disc, and they had Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and then the 2 and 64 ones, and skipped right over Link to the Past, which is like, I don't know, the best one.
Hey, can you do that slide of the Nintendo cartridge one more time? I missed that, man. Those. Oh my god. As a kid, man, that just, you knew you were the shit when you had the sleeve. That was like the key. I had so many loose games from, getting them from tag sales and all that.
Right.
I know y'all remember tag sales.
Oh yeah.
I actually miss going to tag sales, but man, I'll tell you, like just having the sleeve was like, that's the.
I mean, I was one of them kids that we went to Walmart or Kmart or something, and mom was like, "You guys can shop in the video game dump bin," which was like $20 and under.
Right.
And the boxes were always crushed, so you were always happy if you at least got your NES sleeve or your Super NES. Like they made little plastic ones that pop on the bottom.
The little plastic ones that went on the bottom.
But sometimes the boxes were crushed because people were opening them up and taking the little plastic sleeves. They didn't even care about the game. They care more about the cartridge protectors.
Yeah, because we all had just loose cartridges around as kids.
I had a carrying case, like it had like a Nintendo carrying case for the games. So I would just take out the games from the box and then put it in the carrying case.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I really miss them little cartridges, man. I really do. Triborough, give me your number one.
My number one, and this is a game I've talked about even with Jerry, like over the past couple months, is Contra. I could never finish Contra. I remember there was like a code to get like 100 lives, and even with the 100 lives, I still couldn't get past finish the game. And That was like the hardest game I ever played on Nintendo. Like out of every game that I mentioned on this list, like Contra for me was that it looked so cool and I wanted to finish it, but I could never finish it.
That was the only way I could beat it. And I think that what was that code? I know my buddy knows it by heart. It's like up, up, down, down, left,
Yeah.
right, A,
A
B,
B
or
A
something like
B
that.
start select.
Yeah, and I remember you hear that little sound, you knew you
Mhm.
had the 99 lives, but that was the only way I could beat that game. Now, Jerry, Mr. Show Off, he says he doesn't even need the 99 lives and he'll run through that game.
Wow.
Yeah, I was never, I could never
Salute
run through
to
that
you,
game.
sir.
Yeah, salute to Jerry, right?
Yeah.
Because the guy gets to run through it without the 99 lives, but oh, Todd said that's a lie. No, he can do a walkthrough. Like he'll run through that shit. It's not a lie. He's the only one that I know besides my dad, because my dad was super good at games that could run through without doing that 99 lives. I couldn't. And by the time I would get to the final boss and shoot it out, I'd have like three or four lives left.
Right.
That was it, because I kept getting killed all over the place. So it's not a lie, but yeah, fuck you, Jerry. So my number one, the main character, Sam is, I think is her name. Yeah,
Mhm.
she was sexy as hell underneath that suit, but Super Metroid. The original Metroid, for some reason, I was always able to beat that one, but when the Super Nintendo one came out, the Super Metroid, I couldn't beat it. It was the water world for me. The movement was just so quirky. I don't, it like you would try to move one way and it felt like the water would drift you a little bit more. Any water world in all these old games was just like super hard. Sonic, when you did the water world, if you didn't get to that air bubble, you was done.
Yeah.
Same with the turtles. I couldn't beat the water level, but that
They
Super
didn't have
Metroid,
water mechanics figured out yet. It was like being in Jello.
Right.
yeah, man.
Right.
And I couldn't beat it. I never beat Super Metroid, but I beat the first one
Mhm.
with no problem. And
Right.
I don't know if it was because I didn't jump in. I was too young when that came out, but yeah, Super Metroid is just that one that I broke a controller on that one too.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. All right, so now that I stumped y'all, do you have a favorite for NES? What was like your go-to, you played all the time, you could beat, but you just still had a blast?
Mhm. My favorite was Super Mario 3. Like
Super Mario
I
3?
always loved playing that, and even when I finished the game, I went back to play it over again because it was that much entertaining for me. And I feel like that was like the best out of the first three. Like just the graphics, the gameplay, the different power ups they gave Mario. Seeing it like for the first time in the movie The Wizard,
Mhm.
and I remember like the kids at school talking about it. And once I got that game for Christmas, it was like that was like my favorite game. Like I played that for hours, and even now, like if I went back and played now, I could definitely finish it with like the whole way through. You know what
I
I'm
know
saying?
what
Without
John
stopping.
did.
Huh?
John went to go get the
You
game,
went to
show
go get
off.
it?
Yeah,
You know
I
he went
had
to
to.
go get it.
I had to because nobody would know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay.
It is what some people would call a knockoff Zelda, but I like it more than Zelda, and that's Star Tropics.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't know that one
Yeah,
either. So
yeah.
I mean, it's a
It
good one.
it
All
it
right.
plays like the original Legend of Zelda, but it's a lot. It has a lot more story in it than Zelda did.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, that I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah,
more
see, even
it's a
my
lot more
buddy.
colorful. Think like Mario Brothers 2 in terms of like the color palette that you would
Right.
see out of this game, but it
Mhm.
plays like a mixture of like Legend of Zelda and Dragon Warrior.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
like the story in it's amazing. If you, I think you can find it pretty easily nowadays, like ROM wise, if you guys do any of that, or if you have like, it might even be on the Switch online stuff. I'm not really sure.
Right.
I play my classic games on the classic consoles most of the time if I'm gonna play them. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might actually have that one on the simulator and seen it and just kept going. You know, not knowing
Definitely
what
check
it
it
was.
out. They made a second one too, but it's not called Star Tropics 2. It's called, well, it is, but the Star Tropics 2 is the sub name. It's called Zora's Revenge.
Hmm.
So it was a short-lived series, but very good stories.
And better than Zelda, because I know Zelda was like
Yeah.
groundbreaking.
I
when that
I
came
think
out.
Star Tropics 1 and 2 together are better than Legend of Zelda 1 and Link's Adventure. Now, Legend of Zelda by itself is probably go over all of them. But if you took like the first two out of both franchises, I'm kind of surprised that Zelda went further than Star Tropics did.
No shit.
Just because of how much Zelda 2, challenged the fans of the game.
Gotcha.
Right.
So my favorite one, I wish I still had. It is not on my simulator, but I do wish I still had it. I loved Skate or Die.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody remember. Well, I can see you remember it,
I don't
John.
remember
but
that one.
Skate or Die was just so cool. It was the Tony Hawk before Tony Hawk.
Okay.
You just had so much fun skating around, doing the park. So that game for me, I could not stop playing it. Well, I know you remember it, Todd. You're a skater, you're a skateboarder, so obviously you remember that one. But I loved it. I could not help myself. Every time I would be like, what do I want to do to pass the time? Boom, Skate or Die. Because I like the kid that had the punk hair.
Mhm.
He had like the spiky mohawk and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And oh man, it was just so fun being in the pool, being in a half pipe, just skating around, bullshitting. And then they had that other game. I don't know, you probably have this one, John, but there was a game where they like simulated the Olympics. I forgot what it was called, but you did like all these. I think it was track and field. Track and field. That's what it's called.
I remember that one. I remember that.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
another fun one that a lot of people forget about. But for its time, being able to do the 100-yard dash, they
Right.
had the swimming on there, they had the hurdles on there. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
They
Those games,
they used to bundle that. There is a triple cartridge that has track and field with Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. When they brought out that little mini NES with the dog bone controller, the top loader NES, that they had a triple cartridge that they bundled with that, and it had track and field on the Mario and Duck Hunt.
I didn't even know that. Yo, Duck Hunt was so fun.
Yeah, that was good.
Honestly, if you got that and you had that one cartridge, what else did you really need for like a long time?
Yeah.
Great
Shooting
game.
at the screen was so much fun as a kid.
It was.
It really was. And then I used to cheat and go right up on the screen.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was fun, man. We like made our own fun, you know, and every time I would beat a game, I would always up the difficulty to see how good I was, you know, to see how far I could go. And most of the games, I used to be able to Excite Bike. Yes, I did love that one too.
That was good. I had that too.
Yeah, I had that one, but Skate or Die was my shit, man. I love that one.
Yeah.
Paperboy was another one that was
Paperboy,
fun,
yes. Yeah.
but nothing like Skate or Die.
Right.
Skate or Die was the shit, man. I love that game, and I always will. That's just one of mine. Do you have one for Super Nintendo that you could think of right off the top of your bat?
Super Nintendo, Killer Instinct was my favorite one. Because I remember that was like the first game I bought. Well, that game came with the system when I got it in '95, and I had like the gold edition, so it came with the soundtrack. And like I think I used every fighter in the game to finish. Like I had Cinder, I had Saberwolf. There was like a skeleton. I forgot the skeleton guy's name. I used like every fighter in the game to like finish the game, and I played that for hours, man. So that was like, and the graphics were good. The gameplay was good. So that was like my favorite game for Super NES.
No shit. I know John went and just got one.
Well, my favorite game of all time lives on the Super Nintendo.
Really? Okay, let's hear this.
My favorite game of all time is The Link to the Past.
Ooh, that one I
And I
remember.
have, and this is complete in box. It even has the Nintendo Power advert to buy the magazine. It
Wow.
has the strategy guide order in there and everything. This is like the crown jewel.
Yeah.
This is the game where I fell in love with gaming. It was the first game that I beat all by myself, front to back. This is my favorite game of all time. If somebody said, "Hey, you're going to be on an island, you get one game," I don't care about Breath of the Wild. Give me a Link to the Past. I can play this game 12 different ways.
Oh,
Damn. Now, does that have a gold cartridge or no?
No, it
No,
doesn't.
it's just a gray.
Yeah, it's just a gray one. They didn't even do a gold for a collector's edition.
Yeah, because the packaging is real nice on that. That gold
Yeah.
flake.
Yeah, it's super
Mhm.
solid. There's even a map in there, I think. So
Yeah, that's cool. Well, don't open it. I don't want you to ruin anything.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna. I would just rip it right here on live stream, probably with my
that's
luck.
right. That's
Yeah, no.
right. That's why I said don't even open it.
This cardboard is older than some people that might be watching.
Yeah, seriously. What did
Oh,
that come out?
good.
Like 90? That's late 90s, right?
This game is older than my wife actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost as old as I am. It was 92.
92. Wow. I thought that was like
So
96.
Crazy.
Jesus.
and they even redone it. They redid it as a plat or whatever that was, greatest hits or whatever that they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
When they would budget it. So they did that and they changed the box and made it like a brown rather than a gold. So there is another variant of this game on the
And
SNES.
didn't they used to do what PlayStation did, like put like a greatest hits or
Yeah.
something like that of a banner on those
Yeah.
ones?
See
I
on
don't
the
remember what
GameCube,
I don't remember what it looked like.
it was player's choice, and on the Super Nintendo, it was like a ribbon.
Yes.
And I don't know if they really used it for the N64, but on the GameCube, it was a big gold yellow banner, like on the spine and across the top. And then they went over to what they called selects. And now Nintendo is like, we don't give you discounts on nothing.
Yeah.
You pay full price for everything.
Everything is
Nintendo don't give no sale.
microtransactions. But you know, when I used to get like those greatest hits and everything, you know what it reminded me of? It kind of made me feel like the company was saying you couldn't afford the original version,
Right.
so we're gonna embarrass you by putting this banner on here.
You know what? You know what though is like as somebody that still actively kind of collects video games in 2025, I look for ones that are like that. Like PS4, they have their PlayStation hits, and all the PS4 games come in clear red cases rather than clear blue cases.
Yep.
I'm trying to get an entire line of those. Like I think I am only like 15 away from having the entire line.
Wow.
And I think they look really neat because all the spines are all red, so they all line up real nice, and all the cases are red. And the thing that I always dug about that was that to me, it was like, yeah, I knew that I was kind of like balling on a budget, but I was getting to have a good game. Like they didn't just stamp a bad game with player's choice or platinum hits or whatever the title was at the time. It had to sell so much to get to that point.
Yeah. That's what I loved about it. For me, the Super Nintendo, I Street Fighter 2 Turbo, when that came out, I was hooked. I was hooked. And Ryu has always been my favorite just because he was a little bit faster than Ken. And I just loved everything about it. I could use every character. I knew every move because I studied that game hardcore. And I still have it on my PS3. I bought it when they like they kind of like reintroduced. I got Mortal Kombat 2 on there. I got Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. But there was so many different variations to Street Fighter 2. So you have to say like Turbo because there's so many different champion edition, regular Street Fighter 2, Turbo edition, Super Turbo edition, Mega Turbo, Super Ultra. You know what I mean? It just they rehashed.
There's even the new challengers.
Yes.
Yeah.
They redid that game so much. They made a fucking fortune.
They made a fortune off of me because they re-released all of them again during the Wii time when they did the virtual console.
Yep.
And I think I bought 5 different versions of Street Fighter 2 on my Wii. Because there was a Nintendo version, a Super Nintendo, a Turbo Graphics, a Sega Genesis, and they had like I think there was 2 or 3 different ones on the Super Nintendo.
Damn,
with the
they
new
got you
Challengers,
good.
Turbo, and the standard.
Wow.
Well, it's all good. I mean, with the Nintendo Switch, you know, my son having the newest one and all that, and those man, them shits are so expensive. We bought him that Sega pack, the Nintendo pack, the Super Nintendo pack. Then we bought him a simulator, and then he doesn't even play the simulator. Everything is PS5. That's all he cares about now. Is PS5, 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 and there's really not that many good games.
Right.
You know, I tell him all the time, like, I'd rather play older games nowadays than play anything new, because I just feel like I said, you get a half a game and then they tease you with for season 1 we're gonna have this car and this car and this car, and I just miss the old days where you just played the game, you mastered it,
Right.
you learn the cheats, you learn the different doors to go into, you learn the different plants to move.
Well, they still
I
got
miss all
cheat
that.
codes. They still got cheat codes. It's called a credit card.
Well, yeah. by the OP character and you're good.
Right.
Well, gentlemen, this looks like we are pretty much done. Jeff, I really enjoyed having you on. Sure Triborough did too.
Oh yeah, this was great.
But we are here to stay, and we hope to have you on a future show for some more gaming, because that was fun.
Oh yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And John, you know, the great thing about you is you get to actually show it too.
Right.
And then we might have Jerry on too, because Jerry has shit ton of games that he could show. I don't have them anymore. You know, I could bust out a simulator and show you the simulator, but I don't have them anymore. You know, a lot of those older games, you know, not knowing what they were, we just got rid of them, traded them in, got pennies on the dollar for the store.
Well, we had to get the next stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy, you know. Some of the things I wish I would have held on to, my He-Man toys, my, you know, Thundercats, my mask, all these toys I wish I would have kept in the box. I'd be a thousandaire. You know, I'd be rolling in the dough, because I had all them toys when I was a kid. And you just never know. Just like, I'm sure, John, you got some crazy games in there that are worth crazy money, but you can't see yourself parting ways with them.
I don't even honestly, I don't even pay attention to the monetary value, because to me there is no monetary value.
Yeah, that's how I feel about
I've had people come in and be like, "Oh, you got this? You know how hard this is to find?" I'm like, "I don't know. I bought it when it came out." Like, so, like Def Jam Fight for New York. Everybody talks about how hard it is to find. I like that game so much I bought it on Xbox and PS2 back when it was out. Like, and now it's just like everybody's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you have that game."
Is that the one with all the rappers?
Yeah, and it's the good one.
That was the one with Joe Buttons in it.
Yeah,
even though he couldn't fight.
It's the real good one.
Joe Buttons, his fighting skills in that game were not good. They did him dirty.
He's there to be slapped around a little bit.
Yeah, he was like the weak opponent of the WWE. But anyways, give one more plug, John, before we head out of here, and let them know where to find you. Like I said, everything is in the description. So if you want to just click on his name, make sure you give him a sub. But tell him what you do again for the people that just joined.
Yeah, so you can find me, John Doe Juggalo, spelled just like this, everywhere. If you type it into anything social media and it pops up, it is me. If it doesn't pop up, it's because I don't partake in that particular social media. I've had the same username since like 2004 or 5. So, like I said, if I pop up, it's definitely me. On my YouTube channel, if you want to come over there and subscribe to me there, I like to talk a lot of just basically pop culture entertainment, I guess, and the art of it. I think that's basically what my channel is. And trying to kind of ball on a budget, because I like to collect a lot of different things. You can't afford to pay full price for all of it. So
no, you never can. Well, we appreciate you being here as a guest. Try, you want to say anything before we head out?
This was a great show. Continue to support our new podcast and the merch. We got the merch out. Support that, and
45% off right now.
yes,
Up
yeah,
until
man.
Monday. I can't go any cheaper than that, ladies and gentlemen.
You'll be paying for us to wear it.
Huh?
You'll be paying for us to wear it if you go any cheaper.
Yeah, seriously. But it is out right now. 45% off. Use code CAPO. All capitals. I mean, it can't get any better than that. And we do have more merch dropping. Just for now, we're just gonna take a break on it, and then after Christmas, come out with some new, fresh looks. So we waiting on y'all, man. But anyways, again, thank you, John,
Thank you,
and
John.
Try as always.
Down.
Salute
Thank
to
you, guys.
you, and we are out of here.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.